Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I've got to be honest with you. I got fired. Yeah, and when I say fired, I mean fired. I'm gonna be honest with you. Here's how it works, okay? We'll break it down to you straight up. A lot of people call me a pro fisherman, and there's been times that I avoided that title. And for a long time, it was because I felt like I wasn't a pro fisherman in the sense of like pro fisherman as a tournament angler. But I fish for a living. So I guess technically I'm a pro fisherman and I'm flattered by it, all right? So I'm gonna stop, being offended by it. I'm gonna own it. I'm gonna embrace it, okay? So Chad Hoover's now a pro fisherman. So let's jump into it. I had a sponsorship relationship with a company for a long time that came to an end yesterday. And I gotta be honest with you guys, it was like a shotgun blast to the face when it first happened. And this morning when I did my first video, I'm not gonna lie, it was right there in my throat, it was right there in my chest, because this one hurt. It hurt because it was a company that was near and dear to my heart. And when I say near and dear to my heart, I mean really near and dear to my heart. It was touching my heart for the last, almost a decade, all right? So it's not gonna be real hard to figure out what I'm talking about. That company is NRS. Yeah, and so we're done, okay? And it was their decision to move in another direction. Now let me talk to you about being a pro, okay? Because I see this happen the wrong way, and it really makes my blood boil. For the pro fishermen that are out there that are listening to this, or the wannabe pros out there, yeah, guys, this is gonna be something you need to hear. So you need to watch this whole video, and this is gonna be a little bit of tough love, and I'm not apologizing for it either. If you don't have any interest in being a pro fisherman or having a sponsorship or any of that, you can turn this video off right now because it might not apply to you, but it's a good rule of life, so you still might wanna watch, okay? Here's the deal. If you have a relationship that comes to an end, there's a tendency these days to immediately flip to victim mentality. You got screwed, they're screwing me, I'm getting screwed, me. Instead of really taking a look in the mirror and saying, man, maybe it was me. What did I do wrong? But here's the other thing, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of get out of jail free card, let yourself off the hook, at the same time as taking a better look at the whole situation. If you take a hard look at yourself, you might figure out not only were there things that you could have done better that you shouldn't have done, but probably what would have been better is maybe there were a few extra things that you could have done. Maybe you coasted. Maybe you took that relationship for granted. Maybe you, I don't know, okay? Just insert thing here. But the first thing you should do, hey, what's up, guys? The first thing you should do is look at yourself in the mirror. The first thing you should do is, take a hard look at what you should have done or could have done, because that's going to make you better when you lean into it moving forward. And this is the part about the pro staff. See this happen way too often. Guys lose a sponsorship, and the next day, they're out there bashing that company, okay? When I make an endorsement to you guys, and when a pro fisherman makes an endorsement to his family, friends, followers, fans, whatever you want to call it, I'm asking you, and they are asking you to put your hard-earned money down to buy the products they're promoting. And it's kind of silly, and it's a bit hypocritical if you turn around and when you are forced to do that, you don't. If you don't believe in the company, if you don't believe in the products at least, you should have never been endorsing them to your fans, okay? First and foremost. Now, being a pro means you got to make a living. So are doors going to need to be opened in the future? Possibly. But the first thing that you should do is the next time you go fishing, take that product with you. The next time you go fishing after that, take that product with you. If doors open up and you get the opportunity to either expand your horizons, a lot like what I've done with trying different kayaks out, because I'm trying to do that as a service to this community, to this family, to you knuckleheads, right? If an opportunity presents itself now, because you're not in a sponsorship relationship anymore, you may be open to consider that. But if the first thing you do is start Googling other brands, start sending emails out, start hunting up other trees, you probably didn't believe in the brand you were affiliated with in the first place, and you probably shouldn't have been endorsing them, and you should probably look for a different career, okay? Just being real with you. Like I said, this might not be what you want to hear, but it's something that I see right now happening, is that when a relationship doesn't work out, it's just like a divorce. Immediately, everybody wants to vilify the other person. If I can make them bad, I invariably make me good, right? That's how it works. That's human nature. I get it. But avoid that. Avoid the bash them, because you are actually hurting your own stock. You are actually hurting your own integrity. You're actually hurting your own effectiveness. If down the road you do develop a relationship with another company, you should have transitioned gracefully. You should have transitioned tactfully. You should have been a professional about it. You should have managed that dialogue better. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, I prayed about this. I talked myself into it and out of it 100 times since yesterday, whether or not I was gonna talk about this. But I've said this in the past when I did the video called They Said No. And I've said this in my sponsorship videos. And to be honest with you, I thought I was over the hump. I thought I was immune to getting fired. I thought I was at the point, and maybe that's why I got fired. Who knows? I've got to do a lot more soul searching. I feel like I always come over to the top of my relationships. I'm not exactly sure what the issue is, because I wasn't really given those details. And I'm not saying that I was owed them. The one thing you got to realize is that when you're a pro, you agree to do a certain thing for a certain price. If you deliver and they pay, that's all you really should expect. I think a lot of times I build in additional expectations for the additional things that I do, but then that's my fault, because I did those extra things with that expectation. I did that to myself. And so I'm not gonna stop doing that. I'm not gonna stop being passionate. I'm not gonna stop going over the top. I'm not gonna let this change what or who I am. I do firmly believe when one door closes, 5 more open. I do think a lot of times you have to take 2 steps back to take 5 steps forward. But it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. Doesn't mean you're not disappointed. But I'm gonna encourage you to do this. When you have a scenario like this happen, when you have a relationship that comes to an end, do the best you can to figure out what you could have done to keep that from happening in the future. And if you can get at peace with yourself and you can reconcile that there really wasn't much more that you can do, great. If that's what you need to do to help yourself sleep at night, great. But if you say to yourself, golly, man, you know what I should have done? I should have done this, this, and this. Just apply that to not your next relationship. That's what y'all guys thought I was gonna say, okay? That's kind of where I wanted to bait your brain to go. No, stop and apply those to every other relationship that you still have. Because getting fired by one company very well may be a blessing in disguise that says, dude, you took your eye off the prize. You need to take a hard look at yourself, figure out what caused that, and then stop the bleeding, stop the hemorrhaging, figure out how to not lose another one. But if it does come down to the fact that it was just the company needed to move in another direction, they're reallocating resources in other places, then so be it. But sometimes relationships just don't work out. Sometimes people just grow apart. And sometimes nobody has to be at fault. But I'll tell you, if you're gonna look for fault, before you lash out, before you bash the other party, this holds true in fishing, and in pro staff relationships, and in life.